Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. It's Friday morning. It's December 18th. Matthew, next week Friday is Christmas. I'm the man they call Meathead, and joining me on Friday mornings, as usual, is the man they refer to as Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
The man that's known as Matthew Thomas.
Matthew Damas is what we call you when it's prediction time.
That's right. The man that's DBA Matthew Thomas, doing business as Matthew Thomas.
Gotcha, because you're the guy that at the last pay-per-view got all the matches wrong, right?
There was no official predictions for last pay-per-view. That was just some rambling back and forth, incoherent text messaging. It could have been intercepted by the government, and the government could have scrambled what you received was probably disinformation from the government.
Yeah, I mean Russian tampering is really what you're going towards, right?
Exactly, but that's not going to be the case because you're going to have actual live in-person predictions tonight on air, recorded for the record.
I know who edits the show, by the way.
Who's that? This is just live as it comes off my tongue. It's what the listeners hear.
All right, let's talk sponsors. Let's talk about manscaped.com, 20% off. Plus, I think they got a 10% deal as well on their website. Use the promo code PWR. Get that package ordered. You've got only a week to get it shipped out to you. You don't want to go to Christmas and have grandma hug you and have hairy balls. Get yourself Manscaped. Get yourself Manscaped with manscaped.com. Make sure you're using the ball powder and everything else. Get silky smooth for grandma, because grandma got run over by a reindeer with manscaped.com. And then our friends at collarandelbowbrand.com. What a better way to get that stuff ordered and to be able to show up at your Christmas party wearing support your local wrestler t-shirt or anything else that they got. You could come to your Christmas with your fanny pack kid gear on as well. PWR 360 is the promo code, 10% off at collarandelbowbrand.com. You'll like that grandma line, don't you?
I did. And, if it's relevant to any of the listeners, if your grandmother has ever made a specific reference on the unkempt nature of your pubic hair, please write us and let us know.
Yeah, don't tweet, don't send us messages, write a letter.
Just drop us a line in the mail.
Drop us a line, Pony Express style. But my grandmother, I would say God rest her soul, but you don't say that for the living. My grandmother used to clean our ears, so we weren't worried about manscaping back then, but grandma used to always worry about the wax in your ears.
Yeah.
Was it, you had that with grandmother too?
No, but I mean, I can see that being a viable concern from a grandmother.
Well, I mean, we'd have to get down low. We'd have to sit on the floor, and she sat on the couch above us because grandma was only 4 foot tall, my little babushka. But she would clean our ears with bobby pins.
Oh, so I'm expecting she's Q-tipping those things.
No, Q-tip's a brand name, sir. Cotton swabs is what they're called.
That's right, and we are not sponsored by Q-tips.
We're not sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. So, but we are sponsored by, like I said, Manscaped and Collar and Elbow, and they want us to talk about TLC coming up this Sunday on the WWE Network and on all your local cable operators. Matthew, let's run down some matches here. Let's start from the bottom, try to work our way up, okay? We don't know which one's going to be on the pre-show. I'm assuming that it's an unannounced match between Jeff Hardy and Bobby Lashley. I think I heard you say it might be the Street Profits and Rude and Ziggler. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's my prediction for the pre-show. So I'm not going to predict the actual outcome of the match because we don't have it guaranteed, but I am predicting what the match will be.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're on one on each side on that one. Let's talk about the ones that are announced. The Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day, your boys, taking on the Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. No stipulations announced as of yet. Who do you think's coming out on top?
The Hurt Business has been hanging around. They've had one opportunity, I think 2 opportunities, if I'm not mistaken, and yet the thing will not be put to rest. Yet we still have the singles matches back and forth each week. I think they're
Cedric
hanging around.
Alexander's saving them. He's the one getting the singles wins.
I think they're hanging around for a reason. And when it's all said and done, as far as, noteworthy things in 2020 in the WWE, as far as, people who have really looked good, tag teams and stables that have really made an impact, I think the Hurt Business is at the top of that list. I think they're going to be rewarded at the end of 2020 with the Tag Team Championship.
Okay. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were supposed to take on the team of Asuka and Lana. Lana's hurt and out. Asuka still gets the match. surprise partner. First off, call the surprise partner. Second off, who wins the match?
I thought this was a pretty easy prediction, but now the tag team partner is going to make me rethink that. I think this is how you bring Charlotte back.
Really?
I think this is how you bring Charlotte back. I don't see the tag team titles changing hands, though. And here's the deal. I think when Charlotte comes back, I think she needs to be expedited to the top of that division. You put her in a tag team match with the women's champion, that's a quick way to do that. And after watching NXT from a few nights ago, we've been talking about the last several months. I think you really feature Rhea Ripley prominently at WrestleMania. And I think you have her get her receipt on Charlotte this year. And how fitting would it be if Charlotte was the champion come WrestleMania? So I think the first step of getting us there is having Charlotte take the belt from Asuka. Seeds will be planted this Sunday.
Absolutely fantastic. Very believable. I don't think that's going to happen. I would even go as far as to say Rhea Ripley could be Asuka's partner. Even farther to say that a wild card that no one's been talking about for a long time. She's been gone for almost 2 years. She was in the main event in a triple threat with Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
Oh.
Ronda Rousey.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I didn't call it, but if it happens, I would love to see that.
Okay. Well, let's throw it out there. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it does. We don't know who Asuka's partner is yet. Maybe it's Kairi Sane and she comes back.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, if it's Rousey, you've got that built-in story with Baszler right there too. You could expedite some business real quick. Like, my goodness.
Yes, you could, because we've got an Elimination Chamber coming up. Not to mention the Rumble. All right, let's talk SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks and Carmella. I asked Linda Kay about the sommelier that Carmella keeps around. You think anybody going into the business of being a sommelier and, that line of work has ever had to learn how to bump?
It's generally not a prerequisite, I don't believe.
Well, that sommelier has taken some shots and took one from Sasha Banks. I think he took a bank statement as well. So, Sasha, Carmella, does Sasha hang on to the belt, or is Carmella the new champ?
On paper, it seems pretty easy to think that Sasha's going to retain. After seeing how Carmella has been featured these last several weeks, this is a really, really solid relaunch for Carmella. She looks believable. She looks like a champion. That being said, I don't think she takes it this Sunday. I think it happens sooner rather than later, and I think they have got a viable contender. They've got a true person at the top of that women's division, but I think Sasha hangs on at least through the beginning part of 2021.
I'm willing to go with that as well, Sasha, to retain. I still wonder where Bayley comes into this.
True. She's still hanging around.
Okay, gimmick match, and we have to say the gimmick match or the specialty match because, PWR draft style. We got to let them know that points will be had here. The Fiend takes on Randy Orton in a Firefly Inferno match. I don't know what that means, but it does mean that we're probably going to be fire because we saw Randy Orton set a casket or a box or a crate or whatever it was on fire with Bray Wyatt in it, and it opens back up again with the Fiend. So, Firefly Inferno match. Who do you got?
Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, is on an absolute roll here. And Orton is always that guy who can pop up at the top of the card and take a title when you're least expecting it. That being said, I don't see much for anybody to gain over Orton going over here. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, he looks very strong. He's pretty much kind of a face right now, at least in this feud. And this is his wheelhouse. And I think that there's absolutely nothing to be lost by Orton losing here. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, comes out on top. Here's the way I'm seeing it.
That's the way it should go. However, I see Randy Orton taking this for some reason. It doesn't make sense, though. But the Fiend should win. Randy Orton will win.
But Universal that just shows you how Orton's been booked over the years. He has been consistently that guy that can show up, win a Rumble, win a Money in the Bank, win a title. and he doesn't always have to win, but my goodness, you take him serious and you know there is a chance every time he's in the picture.
Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in the tables, ladders, and chairs match. Obviously, we will have Jey Uso involved somehow in here. I don't see Kevin Owens winning anything, but Kevin Owens will give a serious challenge to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns will come out on top.
And I agree fully, and I think that's something that has been done so good with Reigns recently and every program he's been in. Yeah, the outcome looks a little bit easy to call, but they have told such a good story with Roman, Heyman, Jey Uso, the whole dynamic. Anything he's involved in now, even if it is seemingly a match where the likelihood of the belt not changing is what we're talking about, I'm still very interested and very invested in the story and how we get to that outcome. And I think Sunday will be no different.
Well, I'll take my Kevin Owens appearance points, match points, specialty points. I'll take them. I mean, but I'm not getting a title win points. That's for sure. This is going to be Roman Reigns. The main event, technically, I mean, you should have Roman at the top of the card. But the main event is going to be WWE Champion Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. There's a lot going into this match. It's not just Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles is already very clearly out in front said that he's working with Miz and Morrison. Miz is hanging around with the Money in the Bank briefcase. How does this match work? Does the briefcase get cashed in? Is there interference by one of those jabronis?
There's so much at play here, and you really saw that. I think they did a good job on the Go Home segment of Raw the other night of really making you wonder. On paper, it seems like, AJ is just the next person in line to really have a good match with McIntyre, make McIntyre look good. But my goodness, they make you wonder. They make you scratch your head. And I personally, I'm taking the likelihood of a cash in and a successful cash in much more serious now that Miz has that briefcase versus Otis. And I think they've done a really good job of having that factor in play right there. I think these are red herrings. I think they're distractions. I think if anything, we might have some confusion between AJ and Miz and Morrison. I see McIntyre walking out, retaining, and something I don't believe you mentioned, another factor that can come into play here is Sheamus.
I left that on the table there. I was hoping you would bring it up. If not, I would have brought it up for you.
Oh, if you leave anything on the table, I'll pick it up. I have absolutely no shame of picking up any leftovers up from on top of the table or under the table.
So you're picking up what I'm laying down.
Yeah, or under the chair, or wherever things are that I can grab, I'm gonna grab them. And I appreciate you doing that. So I think we probably get a little bit more progression on Sheamus and McIntyre coming out of this. Is that our Rumble match? Very possible. So I see McIntyre retaining, and then we're going to get probably one, if not, two or more stories coming out of this.
Okay, so that's a lot going on there. Like I said, we still have SmackDown tonight coming up, but this is what's been announced so far as of this recording. And again, SmackDown tonight, folks, not on Fox. SmackDown will be on FS1. Didn't know if you knew that, Matthew. Also, we forgot to mention on yesterday's program, AEW next week, Wednesday, will not air at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. It'll be at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, or whenever the conclusion of the Bucks-Celtics game is. NBA pushing the start off a little bit. Happy to talk about my Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis has re-signed for a 5-year Supermax deal, so all's happy in Milwaukee Bucks land. Matthew, are you a basketball fan? I know you got those butt nuggets out there in Denver.
So so is that the Young Bucks? They play basketball now? I know they had that thing at the Jacksonville Stadium. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we're here in Denver. We're home with the Denver Nuggets, who now play in the newly named Ball Arena.
That's singular, right? Not balls?
No. BALL. The Mason Jar people.
Okay. because I mean they're playing in the jar. That's what I would say. Hey, we're gonna go catch a game of the jar.
Yeah, here's the thing. I have not been to the formerly known as the Pepsi Center. I almost said the Pepsi Center, but no longer the Pepsi Center, the Ball Arena. But my goodness, come on. You got to have some signature drinks that you're serving in those ball mason jars. If I go to an event there and they are not serving some type of well, but then again,
nugget juice in a ball jar?
Yeah, but I mean generally you don't have much actual glass there. So because that can be
trust me,
dangerous
nobody ever has any class
to hurl. So maybe at least like a facsimile of a ball mason jar. That's what I'm expecting next time I go there to some type of event. I want to see at least something that resembles a little ball mason jar.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about new stadiums and or stadiums being renamed. The aforementioned Pepsi Center, now called the Ball Arena, and it's arena, right? Ball Arena.
Yeah, Ball Arena.
I'm going through an identity crisis in Milwaukee. Miller Park, the home of the Milwaukee Brewers, will have a new name this year.
What is that?
American Family Stadium.
Oh, well, that sounds like a nice little fun family event.
Yeah, but it's the Miller Park. I mean, come on.
Yeah, here's the thing. I will say at least like it's going to take a little while to get used to, but even though Ball is the name of a company, I don't feel it doesn't sound as commercialized as the Pepsi Center. I hear Pepsi, I think, okay, sponsor. Yeah, Ball is technically a sponsor, but it sounds like more of, something that would be, a standard stadium name. It's like, we're going to go down to the old Ball Arena. It sounds
American Family
like
Field is what they're calling it, by the way.
American Family Field. AFF. You're going to go down to the F.
Yeah. Trust me, I still miss my county stadium, Milwaukee County Stadium, but yeah, American Family Field. It just American Family, by the way, for those that don't know, not that you tune into this program for that, American Family is a major insurance company based out of Madison, Wisconsin, and big employer here in the state. So American Family Field, there it is.
Yeah, that weather guy you were talking about last week, he needs to get some naming rights to a stadium.
Who, Brad Hicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have Brad Hicks Stadium.
All right, you start off small, man. Like a little league park or something. You got to start off small and work your way up.
Speaking of working our way up, again, we've got TLC this Sunday. Big Raw show coming up on Monday as well. Matthew, once TLC is over, we're working our way to the Royal Rumble. I will still say on this very program, Rhea Ripley is winning the Women's Royal Rumble. What? Any predictions for the men's side?
I don't disagree with the Rhea Ripley. I mean, there is not to get too far into speculation, but I think that some of these things have happened on WWE programming. So there's a name out there for a potential main event or co-main event. I don't know if I want to predict it at this point because I feel like we're getting.
Come on, Matthew Damas.
I don't want to say what I'm going to say. I don't. Let me think about it. I don't want to put the name out there because it's not something I want to see necessarily happen. So I'm gonna refrain. I will give you a Royal Rumble prediction prior to the Royal Rumble, but I just I don't want to. I don't want to put anything out there right now. I've got sources, and I kind of do my trance thing when I go into a trance to kind of get these predictions. This stuff is just not off the cuff. This is actual. It's kind of like some remote viewing type of stuff that I do.
So you've got lineup Nirvana is what you're going to have. You're going to have lineup Nirvana where you can see things clearly.
Does that involve Dave Grohl?
Sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. Hey, scheduling update for next week with Christmas Eve being on Thursday the 24th and Christmas Day being Friday the 25th. We will have shows for you Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning, the 23rd. No shows on the Thursday the 24th or Friday the 25th. So we appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you like and subscribe to the videos and to the podcast. And, that kind of stuff helps. It actually gets our sponsors excited, gets us excited. We see the numbers Tell your friends. We're over on every platform you can every platform. Boy, you can tell it's the end of the week, right? Every platform that you can listen to podcasts on, including Apple, YouTube, Facebook, Stitcher, Spotify. Our friends over at Fight TV as well. Matthew, anything before we take it home?
I just want to clarify. So I think everything was pretty self-explanatory, but the one question I have on this weekend show, the women's tag team match, who do you have Baszler and Nia Jax retaining, or do you have the team of Asuka and Mystery Partner?
It's Asuka and Rowdy Rhonda.
Okay, all right. Just to make sure it's on the tape here.
It's on the tape. All right. So for Matthew Thomas, on the Manly Call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.